about how we are gonna move into our communication funnel. Now that we understand where we can find congregations composed of dream clients, and we understand that our goal is to convert those people into traffic that we own, the next question is, what do we do with the potential customers after they join our email list? Section 2 of this book will show us how we communicate with our audience. It will detail what emails we send out and in what sequence we send them. It will show us to use our email list as a tool to get people to send our value ladder. And before we get into the actual sequences that we'll be sending out, we first have to understand the attractive character. Section 2, our communication funnel, the attractive character. Elements, backstory, parables, character flaws, polarity, identity, leader, the adventurer slash crusader, the reporter slash evangelist, the reluctant hero, storylines, loss and redemption, us versus them, before and after, amazing discovery, secret telling, third person testimonial, the attractive character. Hey Russell, I'm building a list, but nobody's opening my emails. Nobody's clicking on my links. Nobody's buying what I'm trying to sell. What am I doing wrong? People who started the dot-com secret course used to express the same thought all the time. Business owners often get behind the idea that they should be averaging $1 per month for every person on their list, so they will focus on growing their list, yet feel stuck and frustrated when they don't see results. Can you relate to that at all? In experience, the missing link is the concept of the attractive character. It's about the persona you are sharing with your audience and how you communicate with your list. Most people either don't bother to create this character or they don't do it correctly. So he wants to explain the process to us now. It's one of the most important steps we can take when it comes to making sales. Once we intentionally create our AC, the attractive character, our business will change forever. An attractive character is not someone who is extraordinarily good looking, although they might be. What I'm talking about here, what he's talking about here, is a persona that attracts clients or customers and helps us build a following to eventually make sales. An attractive character allows us to build a platform anywhere we want, whether on email, Facebook, or YouTube. It doesn't matter where we show up, our attractive character will draw people to us. The first time he learned about personas and characters, he was at a marketing seminar and heard John Allen speak. If we look up his name, we'll find he teaches men how to get women to approach them. In other words, he teaches guys how to pick up chicks. I remember he explained the concept of attracting women was very similar to attracting customers and making sales. If a guy wants a woman to be attracted to him, there are certain things he needs to do, and they are the same things we need to do if we want clients and customers to be attracted to us in our business. He said entrepreneurs need to create an attractive character. This was the first time I had ever heard anyone talk about that idea. He listened to him talk for an hour and it made a huge impact on him and his company. Think about any business, online or offline. Most successful ones have an attractive character front and center. Take Subway, for example. Subway used to be just another fast food restaurant like McDonald's, Burger King, and all the rest. And somewhere along the line, the company found a guy named Jared. He was a big guy who weighed over 400 pounds. However, he started eating nothing but Subway twice a day, and over the course of a couple of years, he lost a ton of weight. Subway shared Jared's story with the world. They put him in commercials and billboards everywhere. And making Jared the attractive character, Subway transformed his business from an average fast food restaurant to a weight loss plan. This new tactic completely set the company apart from the competition. One of the reasons that Subway does so well is because it focuses marketing tactics around an attractive character. People trying to lose weight can relate to Jared. They understand his backstory and they want to be like him. If this guy could lose all the weight just by eating Subway twice a day, then they can do. The same guy has been making a business for Subway for over 15 years. Now think about our favorite movies. What was the last movie we saw? Did we see it because we thought the storyline was intriguing, or did we go because one of our favorite actors or actresses was acting in it? Movies use attractive characters because those issues bring in the customers. A great example of that concept is the movie Ocean's 11. When I saw the lineup for that movie, he had no doubt it would be successful. Producers brought in 11 attractive characters, actors who viewers already loved, put them together in a movie, and boom, it's that. Maybe you're not a big Brad Pitt fan, but you love everything Julia Roberts does. So you go see the movie because she is the attractive character you'll relate to. This is why sequels and franchises work so well, generation after generation. If you loved Harrison Ford as Han Solo in 1977, we probably paid to see all the Star Wars sequels and Raiders of the Lost Ark too. And guess what? Nearly 40 years later, guess who's showing up again to bring us a little more Han Solo? It's amazing to think that one mediocre movie created over a generation ago can still pack the theaters and sell tickets by the millions. That's the power of attractive characters. We love them, we want to be like them, we relate to their stories, and we buy what they are selling. This is one of the biggest secrets behind the most successful online businesses in the most competitive markets like weight loss, dating, financial investing, supplements, and e-commerce. All these types of businesses can use an attractive character. He started noticing how this works in his own business when he started speaking at seminars and selling products from the stage. The first few times he spoke, he was still in school at Boise State University. He was a student athlete in wrestling program, and that information would come out when he told his story from the stage. He talked about wrestling and coaches and lessons he had learned from the sport. When it was time to sell at the end of the presentation, he noticed that the people who came to the back to buy his products were mostly male athletes. They would say, "Hey man, I played football in college," or "Hey, I'm a lacrosse player." He didn't realize it at the time, but his story was promoting an attractive character that other male athletes could relate to. Interesting. A few years later, his wife and him were trying to start a family like so many couples. These days, had some trouble getting pregnant. They went through a long process, but after a few months with a fertility doctor, they ended up getting pregnant with twins. He remembers speaking at a seminar, and for some reason he felt like he should tell that story. He was kind of nervous because he didn't usually share intimate personal stories, but for whatever reason he just shared that story with the audience and tied it back to his presentation. Then he went through his clothes as usual. When he looked to the back of the room, something weird happened. The athletes were still there, but now there were wives, mothers, and families buying his products too. He thought, "How interesting!" He shares something about his family, and suddenly there's a new segment of the audience attracted to that part of my persona, that part of his persona. This new audience segment suddenly felt they could relate to me, so they had enough trust to purchase from me. That had never happened before. He remembered another time when his company was launching a product called Microcontinuity. Before they released the product, they had done a few workshops teaching the system to people. One student, Joey Anderson, launched a very successful microcontinuity program, which is still successful today. When it came time to own the product, he decided he was tired of telling his story, so he decided to tell Joey's story instead. So they launched the product and sold over 8,000 units, grossing over $1 million in sales in just 2 weeks. A few months later, they had a workshop of people who had bought the program. He remember being amazed as he looked out over the audience and saw a 50-50 split of men and women. Typically, his workshops are about 90% men, but this one was totally different. At the end, they surveyed the attendees to find out why they had to come to the workshop. Almost without exception, all the women said they wanted to be Joy Anderson. He kept seeing examples of this trend. The people who related to his stories were the ones who bought his products. So a few years ago, he started teaching this concept of the attractive character. The students who implemented what he is about to teach us here totally transformed their businesses. All of the major success stories from any of their coaching programs got results by building huge brands and platforms around an attractive character. This concept can mean the difference between making $1,000 a month and making $100,000 a month. How attractive are you? How interesting are you? Why would someone tune in to watch a TV special about your story? You might be thinking, but I'm not that interesting. I promise that I didn't feel very interesting when I first started out either. But if you find ways to share your backstory, you can make it compelling and people will follow you because of a personal connection. A personal connection. There are three components to creating an attractive character. Elements, identity, storylines. These three are the components to creating an attractive character. We need each of these components to round out a character people will like and follow. In the upcoming chapters, we'll discuss how to introduce the facets of our attractive character to our audience. But for now, we need to focus on building out our own attractive character profile. We're going to go through the process in detail right now. The four elements of the attractive character backstory. Every good attractive character has to have a backstory. It's essential if you want results. If you turned on the TV and saw Jared sitting there eating a sub, what would your reaction be? You'd probably think something like, who's that annoying skinny guy just sitting there eating subs all day without knowing his backstory of amazing weight loss? We would never be we would be unable to relate to him. He would just be a dude eating subs. But if we see Jared's backstory, pictures of him at 425 pounds and 190 pounds, and then see him eating stuff, it's a whole different story. And Martin, he is just like I'm just like he was. If he can lose all that weight just by eating stuff, maybe I can too. I want to be here where he is. You see the difference in the potential customers' reaction? We share our backstory because we want people to see where we came from. If they can relate to where we came from, then they will want to follow us to where we are now. If they don't see the backstory, potential customers won't follow us or listen to us will seem untouchable, we won't seem real to them. However, if they see that we were once in a similar situation, then they instantly identify with us and will follow us. Our story has provided a hook, we can let them lay out a part and they will want to follow that part. The key is that the story has to relate to the product we are selling somehow. If we are selling a weight loss product, we want to talk about a weight loss backstory. If we are selling investing advice, we want a financial backstory. Does that make sense? Now, if we don't have a backstory that relates to our product, that's okay. We can find someone else's backstory and use that instead. This is what he did when he shared Joe Anderson's story and suddenly became attractive to female buyers. Our students, our case studies, our successful clients, those are all resources for relatable backstories and attractive characters. The owner of Subway wasn't the guy on TV eating stuff all the time, right? It was Jared. He was a same success story, so he became as a attractive character. Our attractive character does not have to be us, but a backstory is essential. Attractive characters speak in parables. Parables are little stories easy to remember that illustrate a relevant point. If we have been following him for a while, we know he tells a lot of stories of parables. For example, when he taught his expert secrets course, he needed a way to show people that they can make money with any of their talents or skills, so he shared the story of parable about the first product he created, a DVD about how to make potato guns. Potato guns. Now there's was a lot to that story that he won't cover here in this book, but it illustrates the fact that we can create and make money selling our experience or expertise in almost anything. He has other parables that he uses to teach the core principles that he wants and needs his customers to understand. Think about other teachers that we have had in the past, those who had a great impact on our life. His guess is that if they had a lasting impact on you, it's because they taught us by using amusing and memorable stories. A parable is a story about something that happened in our tragic character's life. Most people let them pass by, let life pass by, and they don't stop to take note of the interesting things that happen to them. But we are different. We have the ability to use the things that happen throughout our life to teach and inspire others as well as sell products. Here is another example of a parable he uses almost every time he sells something. His college wrestling coach's name was Mark Schultz. He had just moved into the dorms and gone to his first practice where he had an awesome time meeting his teammates and the coaches. That night there was a knock on his door. When he opened it, there stood Coach Schultz. He had brought him a videotape of his own wrestling footage. He thought that was pretty cool, but before he left, he asked me for his wallet. When he gave it to him, he opened it, took all of his money out, and handed me back an empty wallet. I was kind of confused. He was kind of confused, but too nervous to say anything. And then told me, Russell, if I gave you that tape for free, you'd never watch it. But because you have paid for it now, you made an investment. Now I know you're going to watch it and learn from it. And he was right. Because he had made that investment, he did watch the tape over and over again, and he became a better wrestler because of it. That's the day he learned the power of investment. Now he shares the parable almost any time he's going to ask somebody to make an investment with him. Because he knows the potential customer wants success, but he knows they can't have it unless they make that investment. Do you see how sharing a parable like the one about cold skulls is more powerful than just telling someone he needs to make a personal investment? Look to our life, and he promises that we'll start finding these little parables that can help illustrate important points. We can also draw parallels from the lives of others. Just know that when we stop teaching facts and start teaching through parables, our messages will stay with an audience longer. Attractive characters share their character flaws. This next element is one that most people really struggle with sharing, but it's one of the most important ones to share because it makes us relatable and real. We need to understand that every believable, three-dimensional, attractive character has flaws. Think about our favorite characters in movies, books, or TV shows. Every character that we bond with emotionally has flaws, right? One of his favorite examples is Superman. He's the man of steel. He's invincible. Nobody can kill him. As a storyline, it's not very exciting, but when we introduce Kryptonite and he's concerned for the welfare of his family, suddenly he has vulnerabilities and thoughts. He becomes an interesting character that people care about. No one wants to hear about a perfect person because we can't relate. Yet most of us try to put on a perfect facade for audiences, thereby alienating the real man and woman we are trying to reach. Conversely, as soon as the audience knows we are not perfect, that we have character flaws, then they will start to empathize with us. They will like us more because we are like them, not perfect. Attractive characters harness the power of polarity, and the challenge people face when communicating with an audience is trying not to offend anyone. So instead of being a relatable person, speakers become bland and stay neutral on many topics, only sharing safe things everyone will love. Here's the problem. While that sounds like a logical thing to do, of pleasing everyone, the problem is that being neutral is boring. When an attractive character tries to win the votes of everyone, they end up reaching no one. Instead, attractive characters are typically very polarizing. They share their opinions on hard matters and they stick to their guns no matter how many people disagree with them. They draw a line in the sand, and when they take a stand for what they believe in, they split the audience into three camps: those who agree with them, those who are neutral, and those who will disagree with them. As we start to create that polarization, it will change our fair weather fans into die-hard fans who will follow us, follow what we say, share our message, and buy from us over and over again. One of the best examples of this concept is Howard Stern. He's very polarizing. People either love him or they hate him. Yet, as we can see from his following on Sirius Radio and his role on America's got talent, people are listening. Think about the podcasts we listen to. Think about the blogs and books we read. Do the attractive characters we are born with and fall have a polarizing effect on you? Are the people you still follow and still listen to even though we can't stand them or their messages? It's very interesting that we'll spend as much time listening to, talking about, and sharing things from people that we despise as we do treasuring the wisdom from our favorite people. Yet, if any of those characters weren't so polarizing, chances are we wouldn't even know they were. Being polarizing is kind of scary sometimes. It is scary knowing that once we start sharing our opinions, there will probably be a group of people who will disagree with us and will voice your opinions online. If we search for him online, we're going to find there are people who love him and people who hate him. That's just the way it is. If we are neutral, no one will hate you, but no one will know you are either. No one will know you are either. No one will know you are either. No one will know you. As soon as you start taking sides in important issues, we'll develop haters, but we'll also develop a group of raving fans. Those raving fans are the people who will buy our products and services. If nobody's talking about us, then nobody knows who we are. It's time to step out of that neutral space and start saying our opinions. Bring the things we care about into the open. That's it for today. Then next time we'll be learning how to identify and attract a character. Thank you for watching very much if you are still here. Thank you.